Ebusiafo ni etiefo ni die kwan so me pacho me ma obi bia akwa ababa channel so han daily update TV. Ebusia me pacho breaking news BSC na ye de break etiefo na wo so wo manya bi eti na wo mahu de ekoso breaking news ba na me pacho Reverend Kusi Boateng alias anase aka Edujem Finan ho aba asem na me pacho wo ma arrest no breaking news ba yes breaking news afina esikra na yeso ye de break etiefo no so wo manya bi eti na me pacho evidence na that screen is so na me pacho NDC communicated be a friend Esther Ayensu so far or legit okasa pa ma NDC ono so what info pa na we pia ba bonti abetwo ni Facebook page and I say post say we be making a Facebook post and that's what abetwo on the Facebook page or say Reverend Kusi Boateng is being arrested na me pacho and then that screen is no say Reverend Kusi Boateng aka Reverend Kwabna Edujemfi arrested at KIA upon his arrival. That is Kotoka International Airport. Na me pacho bra NPP for lusu election yet is on also onusu free your mind and prior to that cry yet in Sembia na efano ho no e kire say ono NPP for na year juma to make sure somebody get the election in Sembe of course evidently and because of in some more can evidently and just more evidence but evidently based on the same ananko for can I kire say or no oni NPP for na a year juma so far now it was even alleged cry say oni ba omi na year juma gidi pa ni won to me na me pa cho sa papa we ya ye be kaya oni okuje to ablakwa Kesi by an HRS or you suit two different identities. Or you ba ko ha or kohan or you suit a Edujem for baby Pakwa. Na a co baby from some of you suit Reverend Kusi Boateng. Sa in seminar by a call court, Emma Straj for cry pay by Bonte Beshin, some of much less and pa Reverend Kusi Boateng who in some makers and who bonds and seminar. Ablakwa ediatono so far ono ana ode ablakwa eko court onabo ablakwa eko court no there onabo ablakwa court no he lost the case ablakwa onabo ablakwa won the case na because na nsema na ablakwa ekan na enikre na pacho saba pay na meka no asem Reverend Kusi Boateng yes he's been arrested Kotoka International Airport upon the arrival and I say upon his arrival. Intebusia me pacho Felix Ofosu Kwachi and I say Kwachi Ofosu Felix we pia ba Boateng and so the explanation be NPP for Jan dem be and say omoye we pia ba Boateng abe so far we be the bank ama we be ka nsem ne said the city pepe nti e be ko na yakoti nsem no every Felix Ofosu Kwachi hon yakopo nsha na onyo kese me da se bebre
in charge of government communications, MP for Abra Sebu Kwaman Kesi. Felix Akwaba, apom to saying.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Inti, Enra, anopay na me share a video nibi, where you were explaining the allocations to government machinery and from what we've seen, I mean, on the face of it, Osha, you can see a jump in terms of compensation our Office of Government Machinery from some 300 plus million Ghana cedis now to 2.7 billion. For layman or obefa appendix now, I say, hey, that's too much of a jump. What explains it, me pacho?
Oh, me that's it. Layman. Dodona and share down complaining about budget way. A MPP phobia is fine in Kugu Amudin about woman. Any Omua air pilomo say on better to Omunti. And now Omunum no creepy, and so much da air can someone and Yanokre air 2 foot through a Guaman for it. Of course, Ghana need to be our home. Otia samna onya munchemu a ne yamba shene se bia biboni bi akoso ne atia ne se amanteni mama abra oya campaign 2024 ena NDC for abra ye campaign 2024 ya share ne so te eye akufo ado aban na omo de Ghana sika eye ne ya ensem fata omo sei omanisi kabasa Ewo kwan yo mofa so edibu o man no na baby a na saa sika sɛ ye ne kɛse pa ekoso no ɛne o mampani aso ye fɛ no office of the president. Tawoba office of the president ye wo civil servants omo fee ministries, departments and agencies and omo ba secondment. And ye wo political appointees. The man nipa do na kaseti a Akufo-Addo aban. Any kind of fast wa osisa political appointees do na begu office of the president. Na ye de omanisika eti omoka. Ye di mo aye ni ye bia. Na wo sha entwe yi. Nipa do a omo ye political appointees under President Akufo-Addo. Na omo ye 336 as of the last reporter on the parliament in 2024. 336. Yes, I did na nipa do na kaseti ata na ehun hia. Afi so o mampani Akufo-Addo o tete ministries ahodo bia na yesu system faso bi ene so because na edwuma omo ye no na afoforo bi ye deda nti na bro ne say there was duplication in many of the things na omo ye nti no ma sika na ye se no eye amemu ho no na ekosoro nti o mampani ma ma hye bo say obeye mampani a obeti saa de ne so eye ministries dodo a ewo ho any political appointees dodo a ewo office of the president no obeti so ampani ampa oba yeso waye ene to obehwa ye bae no o mampani issue eye executive instruments to create ministries. Nti out of 30 ministries better you know o mampani ma amatie so e ma ne ko 23 abale sa nti no 7 ministries ni ho biom da obi wonim se wo ba ministry a ye wo ministry wo minister deputy minister bi kura na wo 2 deputy ministers omo wo directors ye ministry and omo no ye wo agencies and I said departments. In the mampani mama said there are some of the ministries we don't need the mother ministry nti we hear free but the agencies remain because they are important state institutions omo ye enia holo bebre. The moment I be ministry ne free ho no e ka na wo bo the ministry no nyina no e free ho it has a we here dan ma minister and the deputies we here land cruiser and saloon cars ma minister and the deputies we here the bonifa no support staff ma minister and the deputies we here office accommodation any cars any in the air and near ma directors all nyina be here no mo mubium until the ministries fail to it you make savings. Until that day I am the Ministry of Information here example. Say you buy no Ministry of Information. You will minister and you will deputy fan. At a certain point you cannot move 2 deputies. And now no you was 76 directors. No need more ministry. And that's how the past 76 years. Now you find what agencies there are 6. ISD, GNA, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Ghana Publishing Company Limited, Graphics Communications Group, and a New Times Corporation. Into we ministry if you are a car na your body ministry in ano a call.
But a back call because information ministry there are 76 directors and members of staff. No, you still have to pay them. You cannot sack them. And
they are reassigned to other areas. You hear me pass. And so, because here some company premium. I'm on my juma for also but because you are redeployed, you don't need to employ again, so you make savings. But say a budget, every agency for budgetary and reporting purposes. I was a mother agency. Now, to me, I report a defend your budget before Parliament. Oversight for public expenditure. And I was here baby I did agencies now. And I said, my yanka, madam ministries no, a question. The tuition me say yeah, I'm a penny mama. Why me the casa mouth and as a spokesperson for the president. And I am the Minister of State for Government Communication. If you see, I know all the agencies are not a share information ministry. I say no, many share my sister here. It's a me, and I say, as you parliament, a could be Bianwa, Meko, me, and ye with the budget here, ye the appropriations, you never could defend it on a budget at the amount before parliament. But I am me, any NIPA 5, and I'm not. Juma na nipa 76 plus a minister the deputy omoye. It's immediately you know that savings have been made at the information ministry. We know black and white it's in BN.
In nipa 76 no more hints here. Where are they?
Makato said they have been reassigned to other places that human resources required.
All of them.
All of them. Census Anka, we have to employ other people to fill those gaps from Moko Film. And some have been reassigned by head of civil service.
Yeah, but that would mean say Sikana yetia more time and more information ministry, no. We are still paying into savings near there.
Oh, but I told him say every year recruitment or civil service. Told him sir.
Yes, I know that.
So you don't have to recruit 76 more people because there are 76 people available already. That's all. And I want to say.
Yeah, about the twaso, we'll come back to it.
Yeah. While we are signing on, you have to employ people because that's anything that they be employment, recruitment is civil service. So if you have reassigned, it means that you don't have to engage and I say recruit additional hands. So you make savings on extra to can't cover thing. But you see, I know because the mother ministries of these agencies in the Huntino, I was say you call baby for budgetary and reporting purposes.
But when you take a ministry like chieftaincy and religious affairs, that ministry was merged with local government.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Information ministry say you merge with any ministry.
I agree. But I mean, why information ministry?
National Security Ministry it has not been merged with any ministry.
It has. Says
it has. What has happened is that
minister is to take
no, they report to somebody, but it has not been merged with his ministry. You see, all the agencies under Ministry of National Security, they are under Office of the President for budgetary purposes. But a Minister of Interior and other Parliament that call reporting. Because unlike me, Minister of State at the President, you know,
yes.
Yes.
And the Minister of Interior will be doing the ministerial way on their behalf. Reporting.
Good. But in terms of budgeting, almost Office of the President, and I say, Office of Government Machinery.
It means all the staff are now here the Ministry of National Security, no?
All of them now belong to the Office of Government Machinery.
Office of Government Machinery.
Yes.
And staff are a year Juma Ewo chieftaincy ministry and religious affairs. You see, part of local government.
Yes. Okay. Local government.
In the honor, you will not say there are any savings or
Oh, of course. There are still savings because you don't need an extra minister, any deputies, any aides, any office assistants. So you save money. Obi, Land Cruiser back home, $120,000 to $140,000, which is more than 2 million Ghana cedis. It is also Land Cruiser back home, I'm a minister, I'm back home, deputy. Now find the saloon cars, you are talking close to 3 million Ghana cedis for one minister and a deputy. Tangalo back home. I'll be maintaining and give domestic staff to the minister. Any sika would be here, the supporting staff, because minister no going to maintain office over the we hear abuafo, we hear aides, and secretaries, the assistants, the so you save on all of those. It is the only things that go at the agencies under the ministries. They will go and align with existing agencies, now consolidating. So definitely, without a shadow of doubt, there are always savings anytime you scrap the ministry. We know we'll be able to make you waiting here. And that is what President Mama was talking about saying. We are duplicating ministries and agencies. It is a ministry do or no make you don't need to go and establish another ministry to do the same thing. Come home and make savings. But now the Office of Government Machinery so Obiaka Office of Government Machinery. Me no ka say no. There were 30 different units, any agencies, and the Office of Government Machinery, Office of Government Machinery. Your Office of the President. I know it is made up of The friend is General Administration, Office of the Chief of Staff, Vice President Secretariat, Cabinet Secretariat, Press Secretariat, and a Policy Coordination and Delivery Unit. Apart from that 6 units, there are 24 agencies, namely Public Sector Reform Secretariat, Council of State, State Protocol Department, Scholarship Secretariat, Office of the Administrator General, Public Enterprise Secretariat, Zongo and Inner Cities Development Secretariat, Ghana AIDS Commission, National Identification Authority, National Population Council, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Millennium Development Authority, Internal Audit Agency, Microfinance and Small Loan Center, Ayekano, Tiawase Maslok, State Interest and Governance Authority, SEGA, National Center for Coordination of Early Warning and Response Mechanism. Ena, yawo Zongo Development Fund, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Information Services Department, Ghana News Agency, Research Department, National Security Council, National Signals Bureau, and a National Intelligence Bureau. Obi, the last 7 amabo was on. Last 6 amabo was on. And I said amabo, they were not there under MPP. Into the staff of all these agencies, for budgetary purposes, are classified as staff of the Office of the President. But only a civil servants, Obi.
Bobo 7 nema mebio.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay.
Information Service Department, Ghana News Agency, Research Department, National Security Council, National Signals Bureau, National Intelligence Bureau, Anna Kanene BNI.
Okay.
In fact, we share Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Obi, almost staff strength, and the across Ghana, 1,115. Information Service Department, almost staff across Ghana, 1,309. Ghana News Agency, almost 133 staff across Ghana. Sa agencies mean say ya, SNM Masenkwano, civil servants are Mabosono, almost 2,500 and over. National Security Council, National Signals Bureau, and a National Intelligence Bureau for security reasons, but they are institutions that work across Ghana. So they have similar numbers to say the was actually with. It is a nipper to another 17 agencies, all of whom have civil servants. Definitely, the wage dollar, Nanka, Office of President, one of the cost row. And their wages will be paid under the ministries now in you Mufi Hono. Inti Yankofa political appointees 2,500 and now 5,000 mekam. Political appointees Office of the President or Mampini Mama Apa Womo. I form status any age no almost 30 as of now.
Yeah, but
Mampini Mama now kind there will be additional staff recruited because they will need support staff. But it will come nowhere near 336 MPP employed. But I know what I said here, 30.
Alex, my question would be, from now all the agencies are under the Office of the President, Wabu Bosso, okay, say, omoye 30. I would want to believe, say, apart from the last 6 now, boy, the 24, no, they are under the NPP. Is that correct? We've
the first thing revoked their existence. Coastal Development Authority,
absolutely.
Medal Development Authority, and Northern Authority, Northern Development Authority.
Absolutely.
You need no, Meba.
Okay.
But you need to look at the budgets of the agencies now, Bano.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question now. If we agree, say the new agencies are about 6. In fact, your council be crowned what the name free holder that it's now 30. But time and us other than in our hall, none in I 24, 25, no. Now compensation to them. Metrakitia any idea must have for no. Now a little over 300 million Ghana cedis. the same agencies with 6 new diaba under office of the government machinery, no compensation a jump it not to 500 million, not to 1 million, not to 1.5 billion, to 2.7 billion Ghana cedis. How do you justify that?
Only because you are jumping the gun. You are making assumptions. Any basis. IS in Kwa staff, endorsement, and saying all the 24 put together before. The same for GBC. In fact, National Security Secretariat, for security reasons, are not allowed to mention their numbers. Omonkwa compensation budget for last year under MPP was 1.280 billion Ghana cedis. National security.
That's for just national security.
Just national security. Okay. Under MPP last year, now you're 1.280 billion. So it gives you an idea of their staff strength. And I'm
yeah.
Information Ministry, compensation was 148 million Ghana cedis 2024. Add the fact said there have been 10% increases across board in the minimum wage and salary increases. So you know exactly, say, it is not like Yakofa political appointees will be able to it's way salaries of additional civil servants. The only reason why Auma Bani said they don't have madam ministries who they will report. That is all. But the person who say Abayna Abano Kra Ghana Sika year. You look at discretionary expenditure and only Yesika Abayno one who finds or Becate or the Bay Jumana on Panya Juma. As far as my pocket here, Busumi be as a buy share Nisika Samoa. I do agree on what I say. I decline any at my pocket here. Isn't it item 1 on the scale of preference?
Yeah.
And when I buy what I say. But there are 2 items. And no. I buy what coin so because I see we made the Bay Juma and Panya Juma. And in the friend discretionary expenditure. Don't be so who say there's prudence and savings. That is where you go. Unless you have evidence, say increase in the salaries are going to political appointees, which is not the case. But Obi, what shared last year?
Yeah.
Office of the President, Office of Government Machinery, more goods and services, any more capital expenditure budget in Kwa, pay 1.5 billion 360 million Ghana cedis. 1.5 billion 360 Ghana cedis. It's 1.536 billion Ghana cedis. That is how much was budgeted for Office of the Government, Office of Government Machinery under the MPP in 2024. Obi, so we share the same items under Office of Government Machinery. A year, a few years. Obi wants say a year capex, and I'm in the Kanka a year goods and services. A fee 924 million. About 847, even with the increase in numbers, because that goods and service way includes most of the new agencies now. And yet, Office of the President on Kwana. And on Kwana, a reduction of 76 million Ghana cedis, even though the numbers are higher because of additional civil servants who have come due to the collapse of the Amada ministries. So we are free why. So the share the friend capex and as a capital expenditure last year budgetary allocation to Office of Government Machinery now yes 612 million 440,000 Ghana cedis. This year the same Office of Government Machinery so we share on the capex just around 296 million Ghana cedis. Sorry, 269 million Ghana cedis. That is the total capex of Office of Government Machinery. So what can stand the money no more? As what say the money for goods and services and capex as what say by 345 million Ghana cedis. If you are calling out the it is not true that the budget of the Office of the President is bloated because send a medical trial no civil servant salary a statutory what do saka nye say one can office of president who they are going to be paid under the mother ministry, except that this time ministry nankasa headed by a minister named Newz, we've made savings there. So this is the explanation. A straightforward, a simple. What's your budget? Now another thing so I'm chilling. Any in Zambia, a year before car and yanokre. I almost say if I almost say in some more kind of I can almost say 11.3 billion has been allocated to the office of the president. Oh, besides something yanokre. What happens is that budgets, the official budget, official budgets are you do Ghana has since time memorial. Almost classify expenditure no under administration. They put all ministries, departments, and agencies almost say they are part of the administration of the country together. You see, Office of Government Machinery, Office of the Head of Civil Service, Parliament of Ghana, Audit Service, Public Services Commission, Electoral Commission, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, National Media Commission, National Development Planning Commission, and a Right to Information Commission. It's the work sank of when you now on budget now bomwa and only 11.3 billion. And yet Office of Government Machine repair. It will be the cast on the Nipano Odin show. Because in Peninsula and above say book no lie. Say what by another classification, almost economic, which means that all ministries, departments and agencies they have economic output. Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Budget 8.3 billion. Security and public safety. Interior and other security related entities work. Social, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Ministry of Sports and Recreation, National Commission for Civic Education, Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and a National Labor Commission. Okom budget 53.3 billion because you can immediately know that education and quality takes 27 billion. And more the infrastructure. I honor Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources, Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, and a Ministry of Transport. On total budget here 6.093 billion Ghana cedis. It's the administration a classification which involves all ministries, departments and agencies, including Office of the President, responsible for administering the country. Budget 11.3 and yet Office of the President.
But no so share normal budget 11.3 billion for this year, no. Last year was 11.183 billion. That is an increase this year by over 200 million. Is that correct?
At the time, no.
Yes.
Now national security income and yet they were at 11 billion. I want to say, why was the amount so high when the numbers were not like a few?
The argument now, when you go through the detailed breakdown now, you see another line item of research department, for example, and there is some 50 million for research. Honorable Kojo Akroma makes the point, say, Office of the President and Kwa allocated 50 million Ghana cedis for research. A research being
Obi research department. An arm of Ghana Security Agency. And from Audi, they are under the National Security Council. Intelligence agency. So when we say department, and yes, they are an intelligence agency. And intelligence agencies need resources to work because your minor bumble Where do you want more? So that is it. It is not research as in say computer China who Google and Yama say that is not it. You're from a research department. One of the most covert agencies I work in Ghana, but Obia Onima Memu no any background in Ghana security knows exactly how relevant they are. They are our equivalent of the CIA.
Okay, and that 50 million for SAR agents under the national.
Absolutely. In terms of answer, I expect him to know this, having been information minister before.
Your office specifically, government communications, and the budgetary allocation to your office then so up for scrutiny. They think it's too much, and then I think and
also yeah, misleading.
Yes, or say or your information minister no. Our budget last year now is 6 million Ghana for the whole ministry.
It is not true. And I'm what's up between us. Maybe 2024. Obia OTA maybe 2024 budget appendix 4E. Ministry of Information. Our total budget for last year now is 226,920,250 Ghana cedis. Broken down into 148.898,449 million for compensation, 8.021801 for goods and services, and 70 million for capex. That's we know. And for the agencies under the ministry, and for the ministry itself. It's limited. May ya 5 pay and saying you manage government information both at the presidency and the government in general. Obi, what will we need 70 million Ghana cedis capex for? In fact, capital expenditure then year by year. I have one office. Office of the president, and a dying Kitwebi Kalihua, and one I'm a secretary in administrative staff back. We don't need 70 million for anything. You 8 million for goods and services. And for 3 agencies now, about the same and normal budget they need capital expenditure because I say they need capital expenditure. Only here goods and services. Same for GBC, same for GND. In fact, only last week, many GN and GBC, Director General, ACI, to discuss their budget. You see, sadly, we know a mischief which should not come from a former information minister who knows this. The money has not been allocated to my office. It's been allocated to the agencies under my jurisdiction. It is not true. Say last year, no budget is 6 million. No budget is 226.920250 million Ghana cedis. It is the appendix 4A of the budget of 2024, page 179.
The 70 million no allocated to, as you say, the agencies under your ministry, no, a budget for the compensation.
A budget for capital expenditure. And another 8 million, 8.3, I believe, for goods and services. For 3 agencies, no, who have a total staff strength of 2,500. Sorry, 2,500. It will cover my 78 million for goods and services and capital expenditure. And therefore, me as a spokesperson to the president and as a minister of state for government communication, they know that it is not true no more.
From everything,
in fact, it is almost just like last year for the agencies under the fencing. Say upon come across yama on only needs 6.6 million. May yama Mr. Kennedy so perhaps he has to answer what they did with that money because the ministry existed. He needed that money, but I don't need it because I don't have the ministry under me. So
yeah.
That is the 76 directors, other staff now, no money. They needed that 6 million. But I mean, Libby, if I don't need that 6 million, if the money you see in the budget is for goods and services and capital expenditure of the 3 agencies now, about the CIA, not the ministry. And when you watch your budget, you won't see compensation for the ministry. You will see compensation for the agencies. But Minister of Information, compensation. And upon Kumasa, it was 148.8 million Ghana cedis. But I know what budget more say why blank. Because there's no ministry.
Yes. On the communication on the research department budget, no, hitherto time and national security Emma under office of the president, no, say yeah allocations are national security. Do we give research department a standalone budget? You declare this?
Obi, there's nothing wrong with a standalone budget for research department. What your budget now? You can report in composite terms. We make a album. In fact, I will share Office of Direct Machinery compensation budget now a composite of all the 30 agencies under it. Into we share the other places now, or who you are blank. It doesn't mean say you ain't your just that you're the boom on my state figure back. There's nothing wrong with disaggregating the figures in the budget. And no interest to be appointed to one or yet the benefit and net picket. It's as someone what can end no cry. Japan won't mention we free put that before and to just to stretch and prolong the argument unnecessarily.
How do you respond to the claim and so say when you were listing the agencies under Office of Government Machinery, you mentioned Scholarship Secretariat, for example. The claim has been said some of these agencies, now youth related, no, have all been moved to the Ministry of Youth Development.
Scholarship Secretariat is not under Ministry of Youth Development. It is now under the Office of the President.
It has always been under the Office of the President, but
yes,
has it been moved to the Ministry of Youth?
It has not been moved. It is under the list and the war. Scholarship Secretariat come home.
NEIP can list now.
NEIP can list. NEIP war Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment.
Okay. Wow. You still stand by the fact, sir, for people to understand the omnibus figure of 2.7 billion, no, they have to disaggregate the numbers and look at new agencies. But they also the claim say wofa ebia Information Services Department in Kwa nipa woman no edo ya do so saying the 24 plus other agencies, no? Do you still stand by that claim?
Oh, sir, what your first year? Sir, 24 indeed. Mr. Pomaka and Ra. Say, there were just 8 agencies and others, and you know,
8 new agencies were created. That's, I think, what he said.
Yeah, but there were 26 in all. It's only in our boom, and I mean, South Africa of about 600 or so. Your friends saying civil servants, and they come watch them. Your day political appointees come. You understand me?
Okay. So I listen about Parliament, no?
Yes. And the people who work under the various agencies under the Office of the President. Because on their own, these are not very big agencies.
Yeah. Yeah. And what it means is say list as Parliament. It would include names of ISD for national security for
exactly, it has to include them. Unless as of the time the list goes, it has been separated from the Office of the President again. But it has to go to them.
Plus all the other political appointees.
Plus all the other political appointees, yes. And I'm going to say your fan list we know, and now political appointees are a woman no. Omobro 336 ya beto ya na. Then you have a case. So apostle because of Mampenina you say wakofisa NEC for the go Office of the President MPP for year no.